And hello everyone! Hello. We are back with a challenge that I started a bit ago, where I said I would catch every shiny in Pokémon Reborn. And so far, we've been doing okay. We've been doing quite nicely. Nothing too special, but about a pace of a unique shiny per hour, we're not doing too bad. That might be annoying, but yep, that'll be a little bit annoying. Death count, please. Okay. So at least we're here when we add the counter, so now I have like a sound cue if we are missing something. But yes, we are trying to hunt for a shiny Cherubi today. We do have a shiny Sunkern already, so this does not go on the count. This is not a valid encounter, for us right now at least. I do want to level up Vivian, because we are getting to the point that we are getting closer to the gym. The first gym. 16 hours into the game, by the way. Because obviously we have to catch every shiny before moving off a route with some minor things that are not counted. Like, I'm probably getting the Finion like off camera or something. Okay, that is our first actual Cherubi. I can probably just close Discord. That might be good. No. Discord there. That should make this a little bit less obnoxious. That's another Cherubi. But yeah, mostly here to yap today, because obviously we'll be quite a few months deep by the time that we get around to the time that we find ourselves a shiny Cherubi. And a few things that I wanted to yap about. This is also kind of annoying that it keeps healing. A few things that I wanted to yap about. In particular today is my gripes with the Pokemon leaks. For people who might have seen, there has been some leaks about past Pokemon and news that doesn't exactly paint them in the best of light, as well as like a lot of beta designs that have been leaked again, which people are kind of like using as a excuse to shit on what we did get. Like a lot of scrapped concepts. Recently X and Y had some leaks on having a more dynamic battle system, and they made a demo. And people are like, oh wow, Game Freak is just lazy for not ending up giving us that. Not really knowing how game design works and how much garbage space it fills and also that sort of stuff. People have been using these leaks to fancraft Pokemon more than they already did, I feel like. And it had me kind of miffed. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of fan crafting and stuff like that, but we got what we got. If you start to look at what we didn't get, and are like, oh wow, they are so sucky for not giving us that, because I would have preferred that. Well, remember that it's not just you. Maybe you wanted a bunny in a, like, inflatable tube over a mudkip. But in hindsight, mudkip is so beloved, and maybe the bunny wouldn't have been and would have been like one of the forgotten starters. Because we don't know what it would have evolved into. The Marshtomp thing just isn't good through line. And we got the mudkip meme out of it, and maybe we wouldn't have gotten that with a bunny. The cultural impact of the thing would probably have been like glass. But people are like, oh no, that design is cuter, I wanted to have that. So much more unique. And yeah, it would have been more unique, but also it wouldn't have really fit what Nintendo was doing at the time. So, kind of feeling like people are being a little bit bitchy about that sort of stuff. Same with the dynamic battle system shown for X and Y. People have been talking like, oh wow, that looked so good. Yeah, it did look good. But maybe there is a reason why it was scrapped. That was not leaked. People are just using it as an excuse to be pissed at Nintendo, or pissed at Game Freak. And that is something that I do not really stand by. I always say that you do not love a game because it's perfect. You love a game because you can see its flaws and still want to play it and want to talk highly of it. One of the best examples to me for this is Baldur's Gate 3, which I really like as a game and I cannot fault. But also, because I cannot follow it, I feel like I love it less than, say, Pokemon, where I can see like, ah yeah, I really don't like Patrat. Patrat is a stupid design. And I wish they didn't put it in the game, or oh wow, Generation 5 was pretty much just a repeat of Generation 1, just re-sprited. But I still really love Generation 5, in its own way. With something like Baldur's Gate, I'm like, yep, that's good. And everyone is like, wow, that's good. But would I love it if it was any less good? I don't know. I, in fact, don't think so. I really like Baldur's Gate because it's like the perfect D&D game. But if it wasn't, if it had like a really shitty-ish or sluggish combat system that you really have to get into at first, I'm not sure if I would play it. And I mean, I've played like a billion ways to play Pokemon, and I would still play it. Even Generation 1. Like, I'm considering doing a Pokemon Brown run soon. Because I think they expanded on Pokemon Brown a little bit recently. Added some new sprites and stuff like that. And that had me fascinated. Now, I do wonder why they picked brown as a color. I mean, Pokemon Pink is a different thing, so I guess they can pick that, and black and white is a thing, and green is a thing. Pokemon Purple was still an option. Pokemon Orange. I think Pokemon Orange might also exist as a ROM hack of the Orange Islands. And I'm sure someone made a Pokemon Purple. So do you think that they just, do you think that they just picked brown because it's like the last available color? Black would take and white is taken. I mean, you could do a Pokemon Indigo or Pokemon... I mean, Indigo would make a lot of sense, right? As a sort of like ultimate remaster of Red and Blue. But brown is a way more basic color, so if we are talking basic colors, yeah, red and purple pretty much are the only options you have left. Though I'm not sure if the Orange Islands one is actually called Pokemon Orange. Pew! If Vivian learned Bite, that's better. Now it can kill things probably a lot faster. Okay, finally got a Wurmple. We need 2 of these at the minimum, by the way. But I figured out it might be wisdom. It might be wise to hunt for Cascoon and Silcoon once we find them in the wild, rather than getting 2 Wurmples and hoping they evolve into separate cocoon things. No, we can try, of course. That's why I prefer if we get a Wurmple relatively early, so we can level it up to 10 and evolve it, then maybe get a Dupes Wurmple, evolve that, just naturally by doing this thingy here. That feels like it would make sense. So, yeah. Obviously the worst leak that happened in the world of Pokemon is a stupid Typhlosion leak. And I wanted to take my time and, at least to a certain extent, explain why people are misunderstanding the Typhlosion leak. Because you're not understanding it right if you think like Typhlosion is like that one bear that was really popular on the internet a few years ago. Or what they say like most lollies are. You know that word? Probably better if I don't say that word on YouTube. But... so what happened, to people that don't know, a document was leaked containing stories that game staff had written, specifically one member of the staff, pretty much just stored as a file that was never meant to be canon, or whatever. And in that file was a story about a Typhlosion that kidnapped a little girl and then made a child with her. I guess the good old-fashioned way of child making, so no stork, no cabbages. Not Amphrack either. Just good old knocking the good old girl up. And then stuff happened. I think the girl disappeared and the Typhlosion disappeared. They also say that Typhlosion was like half human and that could take on any disguise, which they used to kidnap the little girl. And everyone read that as, okay, so that must mean that Typhlosions like young girls. And that made its way around the internet and it became the whole Vaporeon thing again. And people are misunderstanding. Because the Typhlosion thing was written as folklore, as a myth, as a bedtime story that you read to your kids so that they don't go alone in the woods and they don't trust strangers. That document that leaked, that had these lore files all on Pokemon, was meant to contain myths and fables. So, a sort of world expansion on how we have the yokai stories, specifically remember to resemble yokai stories we have here, and follow similar plot threads so that the people in Pokemon would have that same sort of experience, because these are still humans, right? So they would fall into human behavior of liking to tell each other creepy stories or made-up stories or fairy tales and stuff like that. They just had one guy ask like, okay, so what would these look like in a sort of Pokemon setting? And he kinda overqualified for the job and made it really like the yokai stories without accidentally addressing it for kids. And now people have lost all media literacy again and are like, oh, yep, story, Typhlosion and the little girl have a kid. All Typhlosions are, you know, into kids. And this is literally what people are memeing about Twitter. Like, oh, I don't like cake. Oh, you hate cake. No, I said I don't like it. It's different. Or, I prefer waffles over cake. Oh, you hate cake? No, I just prefer waffles. This is like, okay, so there's a story on a myth, on a Pokemon that probably didn't exist, and we made that into a story. Ah, okay, so that must mean they're a criminal now. No. No, that doesn't mean that. Like, I pretend to be a skitty that's part of an evil team. Well, I am a skitty that's part of an evil team, but as far as you all know, if you haven't joined Team Neon yet, that could be just a story to be popular on the internet, but obviously join Team Neon. And yeah, and it would be like saying, like, I'm thinking of a good example, because the example that I was thinking of, was like, kind of like, oh, so Mark Hamill is a pretty much a nihilist. He's a little bit like that. So, can't really say that. Okay, so it would be like saying Mark Hamill is like an insane mass murderer because he voices the Joker. And you know, all people that voice the Joker are apparently mass murderers, or at least the press, because, you know, there's one that was the press. People are doing that thing again. And it really pisses me off, because these leaks feel not like to lift Pokemon up, but to bring it down. Specifically also from the leaker side. I really don't like what this leaker is doing. Because he's only seeming to leak the things that can bring Nintendo down. Like, he isn't sharing all the cool stuff that will be in the new games, or he isn't sharing any of that sweet idea of new Pokemon. No, he's just sharing things that people have been bitching about that get people to bitch more. And when I say bitch, I mean, the sandy things, not the female dog equivalent thing. That is a correct cuss word, because we cannot cuss here. I feel like the pink flowers probably have a better shiny chance. So last time we got our shiny from there. Well, this is a regular Caterpie, but still. Still. So, I am not a fan of these big leaks of Pokemon, and I also would very much like to request to anyone that may be watching, will be watching in the future, or is just passing by, to please not share details with me. I'm probably gonna get Legends Arceus if I can scrape up enough cash for it. Or Legends Arceus, Legends CA. If I can scrape up the cash, I'll probably still do it. Even though Legends wasn't fully my game. But I want to be surprised. I want to be amazed when my little mushroom guy transforms into like super ugly mushroom guy, and possibly be disappointed at how ugly it became, or be hyped for how bulky it became. But I want to have that reaction, and Pokemon Away itself has been less good about that sort of thing. But the fans are insane about that. For example, they saw in that blue and white trailer that, in my opinion, is a blueprint of old Kalos. They saw like a specific Pokemon, and they're like, okay, so that is in there. No. No, because we are showing modern day Kalos when the blueprints comes to life. So the Pokemon that would be there later on don't necessarily have to be there, because it's like it's like Paris, right? Like, okay, so everyone in Paris has to be a Parisian and has to be from there, and their pets are all locally bought. No, Justin Bieber brought this monkey to Germany, so why couldn't people visiting the Kalos region? Just because a Pokemon is in a teaser trailer doesn't necessarily mean it is in that specific region. It's probably a bad choice from the trailer makers to put it in, if they didn't, but no, just because something is in the trailer doesn't 100% guarantee it will be in the game. Especially in a trailer like this. Like, if they do a game trailer and you like actually see them roaming, obviously it will be in the game. But to me, this trailer highlighted not what is gonna be in the game, but the setting. It was just a piece showing a setting. It's gonna show the future of Kalos as a bustling thing with like Lumio City at its center. And I think it's good enough to just be that. But people keep reading stuff into stuff. And that takes both the element of surprise away, but also sets you up for disappointment. And I know that Pokemon doesn't like deliver that Baldur's Gate experience. I know there's always like something that I probably wish they would have done better. But that is okay. Because I expect that. I don't expect Baldur's Gate 3 from them. I'll be right back. As you have seen from my slightly spasming body there, I have returned. And yeah, back to the topic of people expecting like too much of Game Freak and like making their expectations the bar to which a game will be held. Because, you know, some leaker is placing that there will be like Mega Flygon or Mega Ditto or whatever in the game. Which, by the way, is stupid. I have seen people call out for Mega Ditto, and that is a stupid idea. Don't do Mega Ditto, please. Set the girl that has like Mega Ditto right beside her practically. But some things just don't work. Like, I've seen people have like a spreadsheet with Pokemon that hadn't gotten love yet from like Gen 1. Specific Pokemon that never got like a Mega or an alternate form or a regional form, saying that, okay, so this must be their time. This will be the time that Executor got one. This will be the time that Gyarados had a Mega. This will be the time that Fearow will return. No, Fearow is dead. Fearow will never return. Fearow, I think, you can't really do anything with it. Because what you really want to do with it is probably already taken by Honchkrow. And then you could make it like a ghost type. Maybe to really do that fear element well. But then you would have like this huge overlap with Primeape. Because, you know, it's an angry creature that got pretty much so angry that it died or whatever. So can't really do that. Can't really make it a fairy type either, because Hero is a fairy type, and it sounds wrong. So what can you do with Hero? You can tag electric type to it, but it's gotten a new flying electric type recently, and while I do like Kilowatt Roll, I don't think it's really middle ground sort of Pokemon thing. I guess they could make it a grass type, but again, fear would not make much sense. There's already plenty of flying steel types with better stats that would just outclass it. So, what is it that we can really do? And I genuinely do not know. I don't think there is anything you can do with Hero to make it like exciting. Maybe Ghost Eyes or something like that, like an Articuno thing, but then it would lose flying type and that would not make sense. Because all the birds all the useful birds have already gotten like a little bit of an overhaul. And then I am being generous and saying that Corviknight is kind of like the redo of Skarmory. Though they technically are a little bit different in function, where Skarmory is more like a hazard setter, and Corviknight is more like a physical wall, body press sort of guy, and hazard remover. They still kind of like fall in that semi-support slot. So I'm not sure if you would be able to do anything with like a Pokemon like Fearow. Victory Bell I think you can actually do, because that was on the list as well. Vileplume technically got, but Bellossom was the split. But that would be one that I kind of like can see happening, getting a regional form, because they pull off the Galarian Slacking Slowbro thing pretty well. So I could see Gloom, Oddish, Vileplume, Bellossom as a thing. Victory Bell, I think you can easily add like a different type to just make it pivot away from poison. Like maybe a fairy grass type would be nice again. Because poison is not that common anyway in the meta, even though it has a quad weakness. It's probably the best quad weakness to have, if I'm honest. I would love to see like a sort of healing variant of it, or maybe like even a fire type where it like stores heat in the thing or whatever. Probably will not work as a bug type, even though I think that could also be cool. But you know, that's a lot of quad weaknesses and a lot of weaknesses. Bug grass is not good. Rest in peace, Parasect. Parasect also, by the way, a Pokemon that I think you can easily like give a other typing to, like Ghost Bug. I think would be perfect for Paris and a Paris redo. But I don't see Paris getting a regional form anytime soon, though. If anywhere, it would technically be Lumiose City, right? Because Lumiose City is practically just Paris, and then you can like make a remake of like Casablanca in the Pokemon world, where it is kind of set in like Lumiose City or whatever would Morocco would be if you want to get more accurate. And then these two trainers have this little pathetic little Pokemon they had to race together and like race up to health again. And then when they talk to each other, they say we always have Paris. That could be cute. But yeah, Ghost type Parasect would be pretty awesome. You could even like give it an extra form in that thing, like make it like a death, a Grim Reaper thing, a Shinigami, But then its mushroom has turned completely like black, and then it is wielding like a scythe, and you just name it Parascythe. And then it's like the Grim Reaper zombie mushroom thing. That would be cute. Probably doesn't translate as well. Because, you know, this is English and you have to do it for Japan. But this is my channel and I can fancraft if I want. I just won't be upset if there is no actual Parascythe in the next game. And I feel like this is where the internet and me sometimes differ, where I would be like talking about, oh, this is my idea for giving Parasect a buff. And then that could like get maybe a few retweets or something like that, and people are like, oh my god, that would be awesome, Ghost type Parascythe. I would love that. And people are like, oh Nintendo, why did you not put anything like that in the game? Why did you choose to forget my boy Paris? Well, for me writing that idea, people might have not even thought about Paris ever. And I'm like, okay, yep, that's my thing. You do yours. If I ever somehow magically get like the Dragon Balls and make a wish for some art talent, some programming talent, and like $1 billion, so I could just make Pokemon fan games and, you know, I'd have to collect them again so that Pokemon won't sue me. But still, I'd have $1 billion, so maybe I ask for the capability to safely create and make an entire Pokemon game myself, and then wish for the $1 million, so I only burn like 2 wishes. And then I would have 1 more left. And then that probably would be good, like to, can we kill Yamcha just for funsies? Or, you know, to clear Typhlosion's name, maybe. There is plenty of wishes that I would do. What would my actual 3rd wish be? Well, there's the obvious one. Probably the obvious one, really. Yeah, it's the obvious one. Can't really, say no to that. Not finding much shinies today. We don't have that, we haven't had that much encounters yet. So it is understandable. This might be faster. Even though I feel like the pink bushes have better shiny odds. I feel like this is better. So, probably not gonna hunt the Whirlpool in this area, cause, you know, its spawn chance is that low. We'll find a different spot for that. I'm assuming that we'll be in the forest that we're going to quite soon after the first gym anyway. We're using a different playlist today. I had more dark. Synthwave before. My word could not think of the word there. My brain could not think of the word. And that's a bit of a problem, but okay. Okay, that's a Cherubi. I do wonder what this shiny color will be. I hope it's bright pink. I could also see it be like super cute and like white. Like a moldy cherry. Or like a Ferrero. Wait, no, not Ferrero, the other one. The one with the coconut thingy. Ferrero is brown. Moncherie. Is it Moncherie? Maybe it's Moncherie. No, Moncheries are also chocolates. Are they Moncherie? No, that's cheese. There is this coconut ball thingy candy thing that looks like a Ferrero. That's white. You know, that color. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, there we go, another Cherubi. Pokemon fans are kind of pissing me off right now. Even, which is kind of like stupid, because it like right happened at the point where I kind of like chose to do just Pokemon content again. Because it is just what makes me happiest. It is what unloads my brain the most. Oops, that's not good. It's what unloads my brain the most. It's what I sleep the best with after a stream. And I just love Pokemon. I mean, I'm a skitty for crying out loud. So... yeah. But it was really rough to, like, see people hating on Game Freak for writing something like child-loving Typhlosion. And that's a shame. That's just kind of upsetting. And I just really wish that when I start like going into like a franchise, it would be a little bit positive. Every time I seem to do something, like a wall of negativity around that sort of thing seems to hit me a little bit. Like, maybe not as much about retro games, but when I did that, there was a lot of like people that were like super graphic-y, nerdy, and are like, okay, so you have to play trendy. Because that became the thing when I started like retro. It really flared up. It constantly feels like the world tells me to not do what I am doing, but, you know, they may be right. They're probably right. But this is what I'm not the worst at. As much as I love retro games, my motor issue of not being able to like do certain things in certain orders, just muscle tension and stuff, kind of like takes over. Kind of made that like super hard to do. My moment of realization came from playing Super Star Wars. And there was this one jump that I exactly knew how to do, but for whatever reason my body, my tense, Ken's body would not allow me to actually do that. And all the retro games that I really want to play are more so in that realm of playing than, say, me playing PlayStation 2 era retro. Because that is not my retro era. I kinda enjoyed it, but it is where games started to turn more bland to me. Like, I think Ratchet and Clank is fine. Kinda like it even, would definitely put it on my higher up list. But it also feels already like a little bit of a been there, done that sort of deal. And another thing that Retro 2 being brought along with it is like, it's so hard to set up. It's so hard to set up. Like, half of the games I can get to function, but I'm either not able to tap out of the game, I'm not able to press certain buttons, I cannot hook up my controller to it. Instead, it has this weird resolution that kinda conflicts with OBS. All that sort of stuff, and the run coming back on Retro and prices rising on that, really bad. But one game that I really wanted to play was Sacrifice, which is this real-time RTS with necromancy. And I've been waiting to play it and play it and play it, and it's on my wish list, but it just never drops in price. And then you look for Steam keys and it's up there super high as well. And then you're not even guaranteed that you can actually stream it. Like, I couldn't do Unreal Tournament. I played Hexen, but it was a hassle and a half to actually play that. It just became too much. Because I like streaming, I like doing things, but I hate finagling. And I do mean hate. Like, that wiggle until you have it just right is like nails on a chalkboard to me. And I do get that experience when I'm like clicking through every setting in OBS and every setting is not working. And then you finally get one to work, but only if you do this. It's just a pain. It just really is a pain, and yeah, that just brought that down for me. Unfortunate as it is, no. This little girlie can't. This little girlie can't do that anymore. My brain is pretty much a mess. And that just adds so much to it that I'm not really enjoying myself anymore. Like when I play Pokemon, I know I set this up, I tweak it a little bit, I have a good idea what I want on my overlays, stuff like that. And then all is good in the world. But when I do retro, you have to like research for every single game you play. This one is like 4x3, the other one is 60x9, the other one is whatever. Not being able to use chat commands also really makes me nervous. Like there were a lot of retro games that I could not like interact with chat with, and I don't really have moderators that are present, so to speak, to actually ban for me. Except for on the Friday streams, then I have Mailman. But given that I am who I am, that I fly the flag that I fly, that I paste those patches that I paste, there is a risk that I will have to actually use my chat commands to like block out hate or whatever. And the fact that I would not be able to do that just made me too uneasy. And I am a picky retro gamer. Like, I love Super Mario World. Clock is decent. But a lot of the 7 out of 10 games like Turrican, I don't like. Just because I don't like the main guy. And I'm not really interested in his adventure. And nothing is necessarily bad with Turrican. It's just really not for me. And when you make your pool really shallow, it's not that good. And then you can ask yourself like, oh, but wouldn't be going full Pokemon make your pool even more shallow? Kinda. But also, there's so much stuff you can do in Pokemon. Like, now I am shiny hunting and just talking to... well... hopefully people? But either way... I can shiny hunt, I can do a Nuzlocke, I can do a playthrough, I can do a randomizer, I can do vanilla, I can do a cage lock, I can do online battles. Within a small niche, that is pretty universal to like set up. I can still pretty much do everything my little skinny heart desires. Especially when we count like fan games. Which I do obviously count. As yeah, there you can see. But I've recently seen like 2 games that are super interesting to me. 3 because I also saw Pokemon Hidden City that we are playing on Sunday actually. But I saw this mod that turns Fire Emblem into Pokemon Red. or Pokemon Fire Red. I don't know, but either way, you play a Fire Emblem game with Pokemon. I think that is really cool. I think that is super cool. Not sure if they have permadeath or no or whatever, but I'm interested. I am very interested. So that is something that I definitely would like to explore as well. Then we have like all the sort of Pokemon side games, like Pokemon New Snap that I really want to replay. Maybe I want to give Legend Arceus a replay as well. Maybe doing it on stream really makes me a little bit happier to go through motions, because I do notice that I would not enjoy shiny hunting like on my own. But doing it like this, I'm kinda having fun. Even though I don't really have any active chatters right now, or anyone to talk to. The format of me just speaking things into the world and yapping a little bit still makes me happy. Even if it's into the ether. I'm still happy. And I have myself to look at. So I'm a cute little kitty. Which makes things also more interesting. Also just the idea of like doing a challenge that's maybe for myself for now, but maybe one day it won't be, is like exciting as well. Like obviously in the beginning stages of sort of things like this, it's not that interesting, but if I'm closing like to the last few shinies or something, maybe it becomes more interesting. Maybe I can actually meet new people that come to my stream again. Sometimes you just really have to like be patient to find your true audience. And for a while, I did think that would be more in the retro crowd because I am a boomer. I am an old soul, even though I'm already kinda old. For the most part, in some parts I'm still a baby. I'm a little bit of a brat. Pink brat. But life in content creation is not gonna be about numbers in the beginning. You have to have your own little goal. And, you know, doing stuff like this silly shiny challenge is like one of my personal sort of goal things. Because if I strictly do it for myself, even though this probably also still is for myself, I couldn't justify it, but this way I can justify it for myself. And this is just something that I really want. And the streaming is just a little push that makes it go even better. And I do think that is a great way to like stream your happiness. You have to like get that dubski that you can get for yourself. And for me, that dubski that I can get for myself is but just doing the things that I want and like just going for it, taking that leap. I might not find an audience, but my heart is here, so... And the fact that I just do it and chase that thing is enough. I am still learning new skills. I am making new friends, even though maybe slower than at other people's paces. I am here, I exist. And this might not be more than a diary in the end. By the time that I die of alcohol poisoning or my own clumsiness. But then I made a diary. That's good enough. I'm happy. Speaking of diaries, dear diary, I went to a theme park last week. It was kind of fun. I went with one of my best friends, who I've not always appreciated as much as I should have. But for my birthday, which is like still like a good month away, like a month and a day to be exact, but he took me to visit all those Halloween houses in a nearby Halloween park called Toverland, which basically is like Dutch for sorcery land or land of magic. But the Tover is a bit of a hard word in Dutch. Tovenarij is like magic, but Tover is like the act of doing magic. And we also have Mahi. And somehow it is a little bit different. We also have Hexai, which is like witchcraft. So I would say Tovenarij is more like sorcery. And Tover is the act of sorcering, I guess. But anyway, it's this magic themed theme park that, in my opinion, is quite underrated. Not the best animatronics though. If that's your thing, there's a much better theme park in the Netherlands called the Efteling that I highly recommend. Way better dark rides. Way better dark rides, way better rides in general, but it's still a solid day out for the family. But we went there for the haunted houses, pretty much just that. Because we knew like, okay, so my friend is like a coaster fiend and there is one really good credit coaster that I really don't enjoy riding. It's called Phoenix. And it's one of those coasters where you hang out with your feet. And that I don't like. I hate that in a coaster. Because I have no sense of control. I don't like seeing the bottom at my feet. Because as a kid, I once almost fell out of one of those fair rides, and I was like being whipped around, with no more bottom at my feet. And my dad was just latching on, hanging on to me for dear life so I wouldn't like slip underneath the thing. And I don't remember much. I just remember like seeing a fast ride and seeing like the floor beneath my feet. And the sensation of slipping, so I don't like those sort of ride now because it like sort of like invokes that feeling like, oh, I'm one little slip away from inevitably falling to my doom. So yeah, but that's not my ride. And he's not really into the rides that I am into, because I am more into like the wooden rides, and he's like, oh no, but that shakes so much. He really needs his rides to be super smooth and comfy. So we couldn't really agree on a ride that we wanted to do, given that a few of the others that we would like to do had like huge queues for them. Because I also really like water rides, even if it's cold. That's like one of my favorite things to do. But he didn't want to do that, so we didn't. So we just spend a lot of time eating food and doing haunted houses. And then I think there were 5. Yeah, there were 5 haunted houses that we visited. And the first one we visited was the favorite of the first year I visited. That one was called Maison de la Magie, or Maison de la Magique. It would, I guess, be if I would translate it a little bit. And it was this house about the story about this illusionist that accidentally set his assistant on fire, and in the process of doing that, he also burned down this major high-stakes theater. It became like the laughing stock / site of mockery for high society. And he retreated to somewhere, and now he has opened his house for a tour with new magics and new illusions for us to explore and to take them seriously again. And then we get transported on this little queue ride that takes us to like a farm. Pretty like 10 minutes outside of the theme park or so. It's just this farm that they turn into a haunted mansion. And it started off great. Like, we were having fun in the ride, there were some friendly people next to us, which is always a little bit of a question. Do we get good people, do we get bad people sitting next to us? You know, my friend is like super kind of like obviously somewhat stereotypical gay, and I am very, very girly dressed, trans girly, so we don't always get like the best people sitting next to us and being the most friendly to us. But these were fun. And then at one point, they kind of like lost interest in us and we lost interest in them, because you know, it goes. they were like valley girl type girls, and we are just weirdo lefties. But all was good, and we were just like sort of like withdrawing in our own phones, waiting for the ride to finish, when I suddenly was startled by this huge crack and shock, and I almost fell into my friend's lap. And turns out our driver had just fucked up the car so much. There was this wooden like steppy thing that he like completely splintered. It looked like a hellmouth now that we also still had to step on. That was scary. So it began quite good already. I don't think that was intended, but that was sure scary. You know, the idea that I might impale my foot and be out by the first haunted house. But yeah, everything didn't start up that smoothly yet, because things were just starting up. We were quite early starting the first house. So we queued a lot, we kinda got bored. But in the end, it was quite a good house. It was quite a spooky house. Start off and you were greeted by this like super creepy butler, and you were put into a room with a maid that just tried to scare you pretty well. And you expect that to sort of like continue to be like a house about staff. And then they pull this like really cool subversion on you, where you're like investigating this mysterious object, and then it looks like the power of the house is going out as a like sort of glitch. And then these weird sort of cultist people come out and chase you through the valleys of the farm. And it's like kind of like depicted as this house was played up for laughs, but something is going on. And then they have these movable walls, so you feel like you're walking circles and circles and circles, not getting anywhere. And then they sort of like put you back on the path, and you get separated from your group. So the people that are like, I don't want to be in front, or I don't want to be in the back. Everyone walks everywhere in a house. Group dynamics get shaken up so much in that house. So you don't really know where you are or whom you're with, and even if that's actually a friendly. So that's really cool. And then it's like a lot of like those Tesla coil sort of thingies, and that orb that goes and milk machines to have been repurposed as like sort of potion machines, grabby girlies, living pictures, all that sort of good stuff. Got really scared at one point where my night blindness kind of like was messing with me. Like I saw a light and it made everything around me so dark that I didn't see a hand, and I just bumped into them by accident. I'm not supposed to touch them, so I felt like really bad for that. And then turns out that wasn't a real hand, it was a fake hand. But then a real hand grabbed me and I was like, I'm gonna die. But I didn't die. Got around it pretty nicely. And yeah, we got back on the train when we eventually finished the house, which I will say, the Maison de la Magie, Maison de la Magic, it had a pretty disappointing ending. Because it's like all building up towards this magician, and he's just like in pictures. And when I mean in pictures, he's like a JPEG or a GIF on some picture frames. So the main bad guy we never actually see, which is a shame. Maybe he spirited himself away to like a realm away, and that's what we're supposed to get out of that. But I didn't get it that much. But still, a really strong house, really fun to walk into. Really plays with your mind and senses a lot. Then we went to a haunted house called the Dollhouse, which, as you can suspect, is a bunch of dollies attacking you. But the fun fact that this house is pretty much set into like this sort of funhouse setting, with like lots of with a lot of obstacles for you to overcome. So there's like stairs and slides and walking barrels that you can feel sort of unbalanced in. And it's all like sort of done to like disorient you a bit. And they have like really cool mannequins there that really resemble like the girls walking into the house. So suddenly you see a dramatic light go up to something, and then you hear like a vine boom-ish sound to like make you scared, and then it's just a doll. But while you're scared of the doll, suddenly that clear doll behind you was actually not a doll, it was a girlie, and she's real and she's grabbing you. Oh no. So that was cool. Not the strongest house because it's really short, and I had this like really scared girlie behind me that was constantly clutching my backpack in fear, and my backpack was kind of tight, so that kind of like hurt me a few times, and she like did that. Also, I'm really uncomfy when I'm being restricted like that. And when, you know, people are too much in my aura that I don't know. Like, I like people in my aura that I know. But if I don't know people and they're in my aura, I'm kinda bad. Like, it's so bad even that if I'm like at the supermarket and there's this woman, then that's like picking up something on the shelf next to where I have to be. I have to wait until she like clears, because otherwise she would be like in my aura. And then I just have to wait for her to be done shopping in that bit. And then I'm like, okay, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. Which I think a lot of store clerks have started to notice. Which I do think is funny. Cause they are like, what is she doing? I get like backchecked so often because I walk in such erratic patterns to the store, because I can't really follow a logical route because people are there and I don't want people in my aura. So instead I just make like a grocery list while I am in the store with the stuff that I want to buy. And then when there is no one there, I can like go get the stuff. But because I'm like at like 7 cameras at the same time, that AI that's like, yep, that's a suspicious person. She isn't going from the milk to the cheese. She's going from the milk to the meats, and from the meats to the bread, from the bread back to the cheese again, because there was someone standing there. You know, that's something I make myself do. Because I don't want to be in people's auras. Because they can push me. And yeah, it's probably no one is gonna push me or send like negative vibes to me or whatever, but I am really vulnerable to like negative auras, so to speak. And this is gonna sound really floaty, but I can definitely like talk to someone that is like depressed and can like help them up and try to find them at like a neutral center. But when a person needs to cry, I'm not really a good shoulder to cry on. Mostly because I just get kind of physically sick, ish. I have like a really negative sort of aura. Or metals in mine. They can just be like super sad or super angry or just clearly thinking something negative. I really pick up on that and I just get shivers and heebie-jeebies and stuff like that. I'll make you broth. I'll give you a blankie and put you on my bed and I'll even like wrap you up like a burrito and like feed you like a hot beverage and like sing a little song to you, but don't hug me when you're sad. Or angry. Or just stand close to me when those things happen. I try to like sort of like keep a little bit distance there. I'll probably give you a hug if you really need one, but I'll try to avoid it. Not for malice, but just my aura becomes really tainted. And then I cannot like help you as good anymore. That is a thing. And when I am negative, I definitely don't want to be in people's auras because I don't want my aura tainting them. But I know how it feels to have their aura taint me. One person where I really felt that for the first time was with my grandma. Me and my grandma don't get along because grandma doesn't accept me as a girly. Grandma now sees me as the person who killed her grandson, so to speak. And before that already she was quite self-centered and quite mean-spirited, quite selfish, where it would be we would talk about subjects that she would approve of, that she wanted to talk about, and that she likes. So when I was a kid, and I would go there and I would go like with mom and dad because she lived quite a bit away from us. In Dutch terms, so that's like half an hour drive. But I can't do that by bus because, you know, public transport doesn't go to the place she lived in. But we would go there like after a vacation and I like saw a cool shell and I went surfing. I call it surfing, and you were on a floaty in the waves and you call that surfing back then, but you know, kid logic. And I would want to tell grandma and grandma's like, oh, that's great. And then she would be like, okay, so have any of you seen The Driving Judge on TV? And then Mom was like, no, we don't really watch that show. But your grandkids are trying to tell you about their vacation. So, and then Grandma would just ignore that and start talking about her TV show and taking over the conversation and telling about how sad her life is because people don't visit enough and, all that sort of gaslighty stuff. And then we would get sent upstairs to just play. And then she would just give Mom a complete summary of what happened in The Driving Judge. The Driving Judge is a Dutch TV show, by the way. It's called The Rijdende Rechter, not The Driving Judge. I don't know much about it because I never watched it. But it's pretty much Judge Judy, but Judge Judy in a van. With an older guy that's not as cool as Judge Judy. And does more boring cases than Judge Judy. And actually has less legal power than Judge Judy. And, he's just lesser than Judge Judy in every single way. And then the next time I would go, we would talk about, like, Carnival, which is like, Mardi Gras, or what some provinces in the Netherlands kind of like do rather than Halloween. Like, we dress up, we get candy, but candies are thrown from floats instead of, like, from people's homes. So we watch a parade. But a lot of it, like, kind of overlaps. And we would go to Grandma and we would, like, try to tell her that again. But she would talk about how she doesn't hear German music again. While her son-in-law is actually, like, a music maker that made this, like, super popped off, song. So that, her son-in-law seems a better descriptor here. But he's, like, talking about this song that he wrote, and she's like, no, we shouldn't do that. We should all listen to the German songs of 1920. And then we get sent up again. She starts complaining about life to Mom and Dad. And eventually we became old enough that we wouldn't be sent up anymore. And then it was Grandma complaining to us as well. And at one time, I do not like that I have to make this analogy because it's like with a franchise that I do not enjoy anymore. But at one point, Mom asked me why I looked so tired. And like, I was like dodging the question. She was like, no, what's wrong? Are you car sick or something? Because she would sometimes get pissed at me for being car sick. Like, no, I'm not car sick. I kind of feel like Grandma has drained all my life energy. So like, what? And then I was like, you know how those Dementors work in Harry Potter? That suck all your happiness away? Mom said, yeah? Like, I kind of feel like that just happened to me. With how Grandma was acting towards us. She was like, yeah, me too, kinda. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I'm just really bummed out right now. She's like, me too, kinda, but... yeah. For her, it was like this buffer of love. And Grandma already started to like disapprove of me by then. A little bit. So to me, the buffer wasn't as thick of a fur. And I just was spent. I just was so tired. And she was really tired as well. She just kind of just kept going. But she exactly knew when I called Grandma the mentor, and she kind of like agreed. Now sometimes when she says, when she is feeling at an emotional low already, she does refer to Grandma as I'm going to the Dementor. But, yeah, things have been quite mean on her end. Like, I have shown, like, willingness to, like, at least show goodwill towards Grandma. With, like, give her my regards, or if she wants me over one time, I will come to Grandma. I can't do it as the old person. I can't go there guy presenting. And she says like, yeah, that's not happening. I'm not giving Grandma your regards. She doesn't want them. Okay. That is a shame, but c'est la vie. If that's what's life, that's what's life. I'm happy without Grandma as well. So that's good. This kinda sucks that I've been disowned. And trust me, the bar is kinda low in our family. Like, my uncle's so racist, he has like TikToks made about him. And no, he's been on meme sites for being such a racist asshole that he is. So, you know, and he's not disowned. So that's a pretty low bar that I managed to clear, in depth at least. But oh well. It's all good. Yay! We finally reached level 15 with you. We'll go heal and we'll just do encounters. We've killed enough cherries now. Oh, darn. Still have to level that up. Well, done. But that's okay. This'll be nice to catch something, because we're nearing the shiny count. We're nearing the odds. Okay, you can at least one-shot easily. We can yawn to put something to sleep. You are a good lead here. Okay, almost at full odds. Okay, back to the haunted houses thingies. Because there was a new house in that park this year, one that we never did before, and it was amazing. It was so cool. It was so cool. We went to this haunted house called Now You're Mine. And it was like set like sort of outside of the park. Well, really outside of the park. It's like staff access road sort of thing. And they built an entire fake mining museum with a haunted house in it there. Oh, there we go! A new shiny and it's black again. And it's black again! Darn. Wait, what? Didn't I... This is a broken Pokeball. No! Why is it counting of that stack? Why do... Oh no! That's horrible. Meow! Go. Fall asleep. I'm too afraid to pound you. Ah, now you're asleep. I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. Yay! Cherubi has been caught. So, obviously... Oh. Obviously, we have to look what Cherubi is called in Japanese, because that's our nickname in our Pokemon, giving them their Japanese name. And Cherubi is called Cherubi in Japanese. So that's not available to us. So then we have to go to their German name. And Cherubi in German is called Raupi. In France, it's called Chenipon. Ah, yes. We'll send Gekushira to the box. Okay, we have a shiny, So... what does that do? That resets our shiny... encounter counter to 0. Cherubi gets... a shiny found mark. And... Cherubi gets to level up, because if we level it up 10, it's already evolved, so... we can just see its fully evolved form. So we kinda have to grind again. There's a Teddiursa there. There's a Teddiursa there! Okay. Teddy. Teddiursa land. Ah. Here you go again. Thank you. So... Cherubi is at level 4, Raupi is at level 4, if we want to be exact. When it evolves into Metapod, it actually does have a Japanese name. I like the German name a lot. The German name for Metapod is Safcon, like safe cocoon. The Japanese word for Metapod is Trencel, which makes it really good for me. And its French name is Crustacea. Speaking of Chris's, and I'm drifting away again from the actual topic that I was talking about. But I think it's fine. Oh wait, we have to update unique shinies to 17. Total shinies 23. Now let me finish the story about the mine first. I'll go back to the... No, the quest moment kind of sailed. It's fine. It's all fine. Either way. Brain breaking? No! Sunken, please! No! Back to the haunted house thing. So it was called Now You're Mine. Really cool haunted house set in a fake mining museum where you would actually go into a mine. So we would actually go underground, or it feels like we went underground. We definitely went with an elevator. We had to have gone underground. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. But it was cool. We would go, we could go to this fake mining museum, and there would be this tour guide that's like, hey, have you heard the stories? I'm like, what stories? He's like, you haven't been paying attention, have you? I'm like, no, I haven't really been paying attention, I'm sorry. Been a long day. It's like, well, tell you the stories, but they're not true. Like, tell me the stories! Look, I will, but not here. Come with me. And then he took like the group along. He began to explain a story about miners being here and digging, but digging too deep. And they found like this mysterious stone. And the mysterious stone was said to make people a little bit strange. But he didn't believe it. So he's like, I'm gonna show you in the mines. I'm gonna show you in the mines. And so we got like miners' helmets on with like little lights, which was really cool but really heavy. They really did not cut costs on making those helmets. No corners cut there. And so he was like explaining some backstory about the mines, and then it's like, okay, how many people are we with? And we were explaining, oh, we were with 8. Don't I count? Like, oh yeah, we're with 9. And then he's like, more backstory. Made my friend do like a little show. sort of thing where we were handing each other the helmets, mounting hats, making sure like accountability was all there and stuff like that, while evilly laughing. And then it's like we were put like in the elevator down in the mine shaft, which unfortunately I know a little bit about mining, so I know it was like not a real mining elevator, because you know, it's just an elevator, not a mining elevator. And it's like, how many people are going down? And then we're like, 9 people, you got us once. It's like, how many people have helmets? And he doesn't have a helmet on. 8. Up. And then he's like, 8 going down. And then he closes the elevator without him. And then you're like, supposedly going into this haunted mine all by just your survivors. It's like no clues on what to do and stuff like that. And that was really cool. And then we were like just running around, and these things that like sort of motion sensors, so the people that would walk in front, their light would go out, and the people that walk in the back, their light would stay on. So the cowards had to keep up with the brave ones, or the brave ones couldn't see, and the cowards would be the one the group now has to rely on. Really, really nicely done. Obviously, I'm motorically really bad, so I fell behind just on account of me not being able to walk very well, along like an uneven ground and stuff like that. And these people were like kids, so they were like, "Ha! I'm gonna show how fast I am. I'm gonna be the best speed racer there has ever been," or whatever. But for whatever reason, my light also would go out, so I would have to keep up with like the girlies right in front of me. Which I managed to do pretty well, so all good. We have to heal Caterpie up here so it has more tackles. So he can become the proud Metapod that he was meant to be. The proud, stoic, lovely Metapod that please don't be another black shiny. Just become gold. Or something. Yeah, so we were in the mines, running around in the dark, not knowing where to go. And first there's like just weird mine shafts that really don't feel like part of a haunted house, because it's like really rough walls that kind of like hurt you if you like go on it untouched, and terrain that's hard enough for you to like think like, okay, maybe this is not part of it, maybe we're in the wrong area. And then suddenly you hear this big waterfall rushing in the distance, and then all the oil barrels around you that you see that have like the coals and the minecarts are beginning to drum as if something is knocking on them, but you cannot see, so you run away from something that is there, but you cannot see what. And then you find the waterfall room. It's like this big waterfall that kind of looks like a natural cave, and there's this mysterious shimmer behind it, and you see that mystical rock that's supposed to be evil, and suddenly you're being grabbed through the water, and there is this sort of werewolf-ish sort of thing. Not quite, but almost a werewolf. Purple pod. Purple pod. And you learned Harden. Great. And yeah, and the rest of it is kind of like running away from the werewolf transformy things. It kind of like reminded me a lot about that Until Dawn game. You know, with the Wendigo creatures. They kind of look like that, so... That was impressive. It was like really good makeup. And really good. This set was amazing, this haunt. We really felt like we were walking through underground caves and... Terrain was rough and constantly going down and... You know, hellish flows and stuff like that. It was super cool. It was awesome. It was so awesome that like everyone was like amazed at the end. Like everyone was like kind of like gassing each other up at the same time. Like, oh my god, that was so awesome. We didn't even know these people, but they were like, oh my god, did you see that? That creature that looks so awesome. And I really love that vibe there. That was really the best haunted house we did that day. Ralpy has died. Ralpy should also get a different name now. But that was good. That was so good. It was pretty scary, and I am not one that scares easy anymore. I'm kinda like that inside. Because I have done this for years now. But this one was scary. It was so good. And then we went into the house that I always hope is the scariest, but never is. And it is called the Witch's Woods. The concept is really simple. We're going on a forest tour, so we walk outside the park, inside like a forest, and you get attacked by witches. But you know, walking through the forest at night, that's awesome. That's so scary. But unfortunately they completely botched it. Like, if you're not in front of that group, you're missing all the scares because they only trigger ever on the first person in that group. And since it's like walking through the forest and the forest is like a little bit uneven and stuff like that, not everyone is like neatly walking in line in this one. They're like all sort of like in a bit of a different pace. Which made this like such a waste of time, honestly. You have to kind of like do your best to make walking through the woods at night as boring as they did. And that is like not even like me being extra cruel. Like my friend was bored to tears. He was like genuinely just not able to like even like follow the path because he was so bored that he just lost all locked inness, and he was like, oh yeah, let's find the exit. No, we can't. This is a route, my guy. This is a hunt. Oh, right. Okay, they had that this one big point where like a witch is supposed to fly at you, but you know, she was just jumping on a trampoline. Which kind of already like dispels the illusion of it being like a scary witch to me. You know, when the first year they had this flying witch, which was really cool. But apparently one witch got hurt doing that, so they couldn't do that anymore. So now they have trampoline witch, which is like a witch on a trampoline with like those bungee cords, and she jumps towards you, and that's it. But you know, it's kind of hard to hide a huge bungee trampoline in the woods. Not gonna lie, you saw that bungee thing like way before you saw the witch, so you're like, oh, that's gonna happen. Because if you're like a little bit of a Halloween park enthusiast like me, you kind of like know how those setups all work, and you can kind of like just spot them, and that was bad. Unfortunately, yes, there was nothing too good about that particular hunt. We just made our way through. We had one really cool effect about a witch being on a stake, being burned, which is kind of cool. They had a cool visual effect for that. But unfortunately, they do it when you're already numb from boredom. So it didn't hit anymore. We already were clocked out. Even like the girlies in front of us, they were like, in the beginning they were so scared they started singing, and singing to like give themselves bravery, and by the end they were like, oh, this is easy. This is barely an inconvenience, this is barely scary. And even they, when they saw the burning witch, which we already knew was a thing, because it's like their closing piece, they were like, oh, that kind of looked cool. But you know, it felt more as a effect showcase in the woods with witches than an actual scare zone thing. Which can be fine, of course. Which, But if you have to like constantly keep the pace up because there's a group behind you, you cannot really enjoy those effects, so that's also kind of lost. Because they keep saying like, okay, we have a big group behind you, so you have to you gotta make speed. You gotta go fast. You gotta run through the woods. They also had this one cool effect, I will say, where there's like swamp tile. Like, there is not really a swamp, but they made like a fake swamp. And then they made like a tile that makes it feel like you're walking on swamp. That was cool. But then the final house was called Cramped. And Cramped is really cool. Cramped is this, when you approach it, you see like this huge maze in front of you. Then the maze is presented as it just being closed off for like a party or something like that. Or for like a corporate retreat sort of thing. And it's rented out by this company called Radaway, who are making like a pesticide to like vanquish your rats. Which, by the way, very painfully done the logo in word art. You know, the old Microsoft Word version's word art. And it's like the second most common font, you know, the yellow one with the thickness added to it. So that was kind of cringe. But I think that was meant to be cringe, so that was good. And then you go in and then you're being said like, oh, we're becoming an employee now. Apparently. Didn't really want to be an employee for a pesticide company, but we get promised a lot of benefits. And you see this video, which is supposed to be like a man talking to you about how to like mix the poisons and stuff like that. Then he like fucks it up, and he becomes mutated into a rat. And then the doors drop and he's behind you and he has a chainsaw and he wants to kill you now. He's a rat. And he just chases you and you walk into a maze And you get assaulted by all sides from all sorts of rats with like gardening tools like electric gardening shafts, those thingies with the cut ropey thing, chainsaws, leaf blowers, all weird gardening tools, and they just start chasing you, running you through this maze like sheep, hurting you. And they do actually hurt you because they like hurt, not hurt. They push you like in the wrong alleyways. They try to separate you from your friends, especially like the separating part from your friends. Sometimes you're just really in that maze completely by your lonesome, and like two chainsaw mice are chasing you, like serial killers-ish, and you're just running away. That was like super cool. The only thing that you had to get out was like 2 hints. Like you have to find a barn, and you have to go through a barn if you see it, and then you have to find the scarecrow, and then you have to go north or something like that. So I immediately like got diddled by a bush, because I immediately like fell and like hurt my hand really badly. So I was already separated from my group right away from the start, and then I found someone that was like, I think it was trying to check if I was alright, but I was like, okay, let's treat this one as a villain, because normally I'm like, kind of like antagonistic to them. And yeah, so this time I was like, okay, let's treat you like I am at least a little bit scared of you. And I think they were like, they might have seen me fall, and they were like, oh yeah, are you okay? But no, I was like, oh, you're a villain, I have to run. So I was walking there with like my finger bleeding because, you know, branches cut him open and stuff like that. Being chased all by my lonesome, and the first person that I found again luckily was my friend that I was with. And I could like sort of like latch onto him, and we were smart. We actually found our way to the exit relatively fast. Like 10 or so minutes we were in that maze, being chased, which really is powerful. But I've heard some people that were like, spend like a half an hour in there because they kind of like get lost and get spent between runs, because there's like several runs going on at the same time. And they cannot really separate you. Sometimes you just have a super long run in this. But we got out pretty timely and we survived. Me, minus a few fingers in good health. And obviously, we also ate a lot, because, you know, food is good. And me and him were like, are always like really big into the food part and theme parks and stuff like that. We just always want nice snackies and something to eat. And this year they didn't bring their A game when it comes to food, unfortunately. This was pretty much their B game. But I had this nice Japanese snack fried basket. We had some like fried gyoza and these really crispy battered chicken wings. It's like super spicy batter and very flavorless egg rolls, spring rolls. They were so bland. But okay, that was fine. Then we had the super Dutch brood inox. It's like this sausage. That's kind of like typically Dutch. a pork sausage with like a really fattiness to it, and you like sort of like braise it in its own fat, which is sweet and good. We had that with some sriracha sauce and beetroot shoots, which was a good snack. And then I just had some fried snacks as well, with the special Halloween sauce, which I think was just more of that sriracha, but with the black sesame on it. That was a good spicy meat snack, so that was pleasant. And I went for a cocktail, which pretty much was a dark and stormy mixed with a Moscow Mule, so that was really my jam. They made it really nicely, really pleasantly. Not that expensive. Still expensive, but I mean, it was a cocktail, so this is what you normally would pay on like an outside area or something like that as well, so outside of a theme park, so I was happy. That was good. Had a good time. Bought some devil's ears, which they always made me take off in the haunted houses, which was unfortunate. And near the end we like walked through the scary zones, which was also like cool but really crowded because a lot of people, and this was something that kind of like miffed me a bit. So this year they had something new called the Magic Wand. And the Magic Wand, what that would do is it would let you wave it and the horror creepy guys would leave you alone. And a lot of people were using that in such a stupid way that I hope they drop it next year. Like for €5 you could like buy the sparkly wand that keeps the ghosties at bay. And then people would go through the scare zones, and they would just wave their magic wands at those scary people. And as a result, those people couldn't really like scare them, but they also like kind of like got stuck behind them a lot, which made this super annoying. So all those areas became super duper cluttered because they were like sort of chasing some people to give them a scare. But then the people with the magic wands would just like stand there and watch and like hold up everyone because everyone else is being chased, and they're like, haha, I'm not being chased, I can stand still here all day and be safe. So that's kind of what they did. And this is a relatively small pass theme park. So if that's happening on two sides, then these scare actors really have to be careful on how they get around you. And so you just get so many bottlenecks. And that what made the scare zones a little bit more annoying than they had to be, in my opinion. But I did have fun when going to a haunted house, and you'd see this warning sign like, not for people with heart issues, not for people with claustrophobia, not for people with mobility issues. And then, not for people with a magic wand. The magic wand cannot be used here. Its magical effect is not it does not work on these ghosts. Like a very serious sign like, your magical wand will not work here. Your magic wand will not stop ghosts. In between, like, no smoking, no phones, no bright lights. Like, no magic wand. Not like, no Toverland magic wand. No, it's just no magic wands allowed. Darn. Darn. That's a shame. But that was funny. Yeah, we ended up going a little bit earlier because, you know, when those theme parks close and everyone has to go at the same time because there was a fireworks show at the end as well, and everyone wanted to stay for that. Leaving the park is a little bit of a chaos because, you know, when people go through a theme park, there's always like the asshole as well. Like a lot of assholes. You know, they drive their Volkswagen Golfs with their Lonsdale caps and their Puma sweaters and stuff like that. And they do that like dong 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 music in the background, which is like so loud that like their grandma at home can still hear it. She's asleep and dead. So those guys, when they have to leave those parking lots, they just force themselves everywhere into that line, and it just creates a lot of stress and dangerous situations because you're like, oh, there's another Athro again trying to ram me because they want to go before me, even though I've been in this line for literally 7 hours. Well, literally 7 hours is not true, of course, but that happened to us once. We were at this Facts convention, like Comic-Con, but the Belgian version. And all these, raver boys? Let's call them raver boys. They were just ramming their cars into, like, spots where they should not actually join the queue, just so that they can drive out. And it started like driving out of that con for the entire way. And my friend hated that so much that he swore never to do that again. Don't mind me doing a little bug fixing here. Don't mind me doing a little bug fixing. I just saw that and I kinda wanted to fix that. There we go. All fixed now, perfect. Niets aan, as we say in Dutch. Don't change anything. We're almost done with this shiny. And now we can rank him. Well, at least today wasn't in vain. That doesn't count. At least he's leveling somewhat decently fast. Another thing that I've been doing recently is, like, I had the brilliant idea, to watch a horror movie for every day of the week in October. Which, by the way, I'm not gonna make that, I'm gonna tell you now. Because, you know, 31 movies in 1 month, kinda a lot. Mostly given that I also want to watch my Pokemon videos still. But also, after like 17 horror movies where I'm, well, 16. It's kinda easy to burn out on the genre. You're not level 10 yet, right? You're not level 10 yet. You're getting close though. You are getting close. My brain pooped itself. I totally forgot what I was talking about. Oh well. Probably nothing of over importance. Probably not something overly important. Anyway. Oop, die. Yay! Here we go. Red starts evolving. Now, will it be a cool shiny? Yay! Pink Butterfree! We finally got you! Okay, so let's see what Butterfree is called in Japanese. Butterfree in Japanese is called Butterfree. Butterfree. So, do we name you after the German name or do we name you after the French name? Because, well, I would name you after the French name, even though I don't really like the German name. But you know, that is has been how we do it. In German, you're called Schmedbo. Schmedbo. That sounds kind of terrible, but Schmedbo has been added to the team now. Obviously, this will get like a great ranking at least. We're gonna rank him now. Because obviously it's a pink shiny, so you know that's the way to my heart. Now we'll put you in F for Frogadier. Bellybird. Yep, we don't have anything with a C yet. But let's see, S tier shiny, A tier shiny. Somewhere around there. I mean, they don't do anything super duper special with this. And I know they do a lot of that. But you know, since it is a reference, and it's pink, and its wings are also pink, I'll give this an S tier. Yes. I'll give this an S tier, my first S tier. So let's abandon it forever now. And let's hunt for more cherries. Because now all we need to get from this field is one Wurmple, one Cherim. Which seems like it would be easy enough. Right? One Wurmple, one Cherim seems easy enough. I think I will end at the exact moment our timer hits 20 hours, that seems like a cool time to, like, end it. So we have like 48 more minutes to catch ourselves a cool one. Probably gonna do a lot of these where I'm ending on like a total time timer thing to have that be round, because you know, when you're at like 20 hours and stuff like that, calculating like how many minutes, because my timer works on total minutes. And every time I redo this, I have to like calculate where I am with those minutes. So if I don't have to math out like 19 hours and 37 minutes in my head in minutes, that would be great. That would be great, because, you know, a small head, smooth brain. Small head, smooth brain. So, yeah, not the best at doing that. I wouldn't be impressed if there's someone here that is like, oh yeah, but no, that I can totally do that. Cause if you're there, I definitely want to make you a shiny starter here. Like, just for that fact that you can do that. Like, hey, can I DM you? Like, okay, so how many minutes is this? But I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But yeah, semi-successful shiny hunt, I'm gonna say. I really wish we would have at least gotten something else. I mean, we still can. There is still the option, but not going as smooth as I would have hoped it was going. Especially since like Sunken and Cherubi are now like non-valid encounters. Like, we already have their shinies. We probably should put Frogadier back on the team, now that I think about it. But, I mean, we can do that next time. After that, we also still have to search like the trash area. Trash area, we only have the Gulpin at least. That's a little bit more easier of a search. But I really would love to end on Shiny Cherubi. You know, that since we've seen so many cherries today, so many cherries. Nice, a Wurmple. Another Wurmple, okay. I don't mind them appearing in this ratio. That is a good ratio of Wurmples and Cherems. No. Caterpie, I just told you that I like it if there's mostly just Wurmples and Cherems. Now could you please make sure no Sunkern's... Sunkern, let me explain this to you as well, because... Well, let's be honest, it doesn't look like you have much of a brain in there. When I say I want to see only worms and cherries, I do not mean seeds. And I know that your seed in shiny form is cherry red, but you are not shiny, so... Thank you for hearing me out. I do appreciate you. Have a nice day, madam. Thank you for hearing me out, you little cherry guy. Unfortunately, you have the wrong color, so I'm gonna have to pass on you, but I wish you a very pleasant day. And thank you for listening. Again, you are the wrong color. I do like the little wigglies you have on your butt, by the way. Must admit, very impressive. Good job. Have a nice day. And thank you for being a cherry, but again, a little bit of the wrong color. Not that I mind your color, you have a very lovely color. May I say you also have a really funny smiley ass face, so... Good on you. Keep going at it. Keep showing that ass face to everyone around. Hope I find your differently colored sibling very soon. But have a nice day. Let's see what we can find. What else we can find? No. Fuck off. See. Now my plan starts working. Yes, thank you so much, madam. Your presence here is appreciated. I would really appreciate if you could send your differently colored sibling soon, but have a nice day. And I do appreciate you as well. Again, like I said to the madam just over there, please send in your different colored sibling. Your contribution to the counter will be appreciated though. Have a nice day. Fuck off. Hello sir. I hope you have a wonderful day. Unfortunately, I cannot take you home with me because you have the wrong color for this challenge in particular. But I wish you a very wonderful day. Goodbye, sir. And hello to you too, madam. Yes, I am indeed looking for Wurmples, but you have a bit too much of a common skin color, and I am looking for something that is a little bit more different today. But I hope you and your future children will have a very nice day. So I watched this horror movie yesterday called Halloween Tales. Thank you, sir. You're not what I'm looking for, but I want you to have a very nice day. Halloween Tales is this anthology horror. So I've discovered that I'm kinda enjoying anthology horror. A little bit more than I expected. I expected to need something a little bit more meaty. But when you're doing... I watch 31 videos, 31 movies in a month's challenge. Kinda nice that you have like this movie that you can sort of like pause and unpause. Thank you so much, madam, for showing up. I really appreciate the Wurmple population right now for being there for me, but I am gonna need to see someone of your species in a different color. I do hope you have a nice day. So, the Halloween movie I watched yesterday was called Tales of Halloween, and it's like this anthology movie with like 10 bits and no real overarching story, just some visual clues that they are kind of connected. And appreciate your present. Please send in your fellow with a different skin color. I didn't really like this one that I watched yesterday. Tales of Halloween. I don't know, it felt both too childlike, but also like too excessive in gore at times. It was really silly. And it really feels more maybe Halloween stories-ish. But since we don't really have Halloween here, we kind of like really lean into just the scary part of it, not the innocent part of it. But also there was like a movie about a pumpkin that bites the dad's head off, and then he's like just laying there without a head with his wife seeing, and then you see a woman whose kid gets eaten right in front of her, and then an evil corporation is making a lot of pumpkins, and they're like, oh shit, that's a lot of pumpkins, and then that's the short. And then there's this short about this group of people that are at home, and then this little witch shows up at their door. She says trick or treat. Oh no, she doesn't say anything. She says like, oh, you have to say trick or treat. And she says trick, and then she stabs him. And then as they try to get out of that situation, their entire family is like sort of murdered little by kids. Appreciate you, no thank you. Have a nice day. And then you discover that this family has been like secretly abducting children and cutting out their eyeballs and eating the eyeballs as Halloween candy, as a sort of thing. And these kids are just trying to save their friend. That's why they go murdery. Which is like super weird. And there's this one about this serial killer that's like very inspired on Jason, and he kills this girl that's definitely the final girl. And then when he's staring at her, staring over her impaled corpse, this UFO appears, and this tiny trick-or-treating alien shows up. And he says, trick-or-treat! Trick-or-treat! And then the serial killer doesn't have candy, so he's like, oh, well, the ex-murderer guy. And he's like, because he's like inbred and stuff like that, so he can't talk. And then the alien goes again, trick or treat, trick or treat. And I'm like, what am I watching? And then he still doesn't have candy, and the alien keeps going trick or treat with that high pitched voice until it like annoys the murderer, and then he stomps on him. So then the alien claymation goops into the murdered girl, and she starts murdering him, and then we get like this sort of Freddy versus Jason style fight. And it ends with them cutting each other's head off at the same time, and then falling into a chainsaw and being dissolved into a pile of blood and gore and stuff like that. And then the alien like goops out again, and he says trick or treat, and then he gets beamed up by his alien brothers and has to go home without a candy. And you know, that's just one of the shorts, which I didn't really like. The first one I kinda enjoyed. It was like about this guy named Sweet Tooth. It was like this was this kid that was always denied candies, and then his parents secretly would fornicate on said candy. And one day he found out, and he was so pissed that they fornicated on his candy and they ate all his candy that he murdered him, that they murdered them. It was his first time tasting candy because they said it would make him fat and weak. And he liked it so much that he even cut the eaten candy out of his dead parents' stomachs. And then, now he does that every year. He goes to houses to find Halloween candy. And if someone doesn't want to share theirs, he cuts them open and rips the candy out of their stomachs as well. So obviously, this kid that hears that story, he like lays a candy bar in front of his door. But he also leaves some of the candy down below because that's just where he left his bucket. So his babysitter goes to have that same candy sex thing that the original guy's parents had. And they like eat all the candies while doing it. And then they're like, oh, we ate all the candies, let me get Pepto-Bismol. And then the sweet tooth demon guy, ghost girl boy, shows up and he like eats the babysitter's boyfriend. And then the babysitter comes back and she still doesn't have a candy, so she gets murdered as well. So, and then the boy, since he didn't like get murdered and he gave the killer a candy, he's like standing over his babysitter and she's like, oh, she ate all my candy, that's why she said, because it's Sweet Tooth ate him. Because that's the name of the demon person guy thing. And then he gets arrested for murder, his babysitter. And that's where that ends. And there's this weird short where there's like this guy that goes to Egg House. Which, by the way, that is something we completely do not have. We have we don't have trick-or-treating. Pretty much with Halloween. We have that in November with something called St. Martin. But no egging, no violence, no TPing, all that stuff is not there. But this is about this guy or this kid that like pulls a prank on the house of the actual devil. So the devil pulls a prank on him. Or he will teach him how to like teach a real Halloween prank. So you see them going out and then go to the dentist that instead of candy gives you a toothbrush and an apple or whatever. And then the devil falls off the toothbrush into a shiv and the kid shivs the shivs the dentist guy with it. Because you can tell it's the kid because he has like the same suit and the devil mask that he had before. And they go together and he like pops a bunch of mailboxes with a bat. And he uses that bat to crush a girl's skull that's like in their way. Then he gets a gun and he shoots a few people. You know, just typical Halloween pranks. And then he comes home, and then you see the kid sitting in a chair tied up. And the kid says like, oh, you were showing me that you told me that you would teach me a prank for Halloween. He said, I just did. And then it's realized that the kid that did all the murdering stuff was actually like an imp that Satan has. Just dressed up the same as the kid. But then the kid steps out and he sees that the police is after him, like after his mass spread of murderers and stuff like that. So the kid gets scared, having guns pointed at him by the police and stuff. And he pisses his pants, which the police is like, oh my god, he pisses his pants, so lame. So they shoot the kid down. And that's where that story ends. And it's really like that little bit of the ending where they just say like, oh my god, he pisses his pants, lame, shoot him. What kind of like ruined it for me. Like, I wouldn't even mind Satan pulling a prank on him and him going to jail and stuff like that, but, you know, the whole, oh, he pissed his pants, so lame thing really, really didn't make it fun for me anymore. So that wasn't a bad one. And there was this one thing that's just a woman thinking she's being chased, and pretty much she's not being chased for the entire movie until like the last minute where she's actually being chased, and then there's someone there and she's bleh, and then that's it. That's literally like one of the shorts. Bad movie. And I like the mousetrap. Which, by the way, for people who do not know, that is the movie about Mickey Mouse murdering people. Well, a guy dressed up as Mickey Mouse with his beard sticking out of the mouth thing. It's lame. It's so lame. It's a terrible movie, but at least it is terrible in a kinda like funny way where they kinda like intentionally seem to like destroy the IP of Mickey Mouse, and intentionally seem to destroy the concept of a horror movie with that. By doing like pretty much everything a movie can do wrong. Like weird exposition dumps, nonsensical character dialogue, weird romantic tension, a very unsatisfying ending. They did it all, and it's kind of like impressive that they managed to make a horror movie that is so unsatisfying. And it kind of like reminded me of that unsatisfactory video compilation where you like see that machine that's supposed to slice things in like perfect slices, and then it doesn't. Then you kind of like just see that go wrong. Somehow that can fill a sort of weird need. And this video pretty much did the same. But for horror movies. And that's what I like about the Mousetrap. And then I also watched The Curse of Cinderella, which is about Cinderella, but rather than a tooth fairy, she summons a demon from the Necronomicon to help her get to prom. By accident, mostly. Because she's kinda pissed that her evil twin sisters were like, haha, we are kinda like evil, we are bored of our maid, and she has sprained her ankle, so let's murder her, and let's put her son into a torture dungeon. So they do that, just for funsies, which is to show how evil they are. And their mother is even more evil. She's like, Cinderella, you do not deserve to breathe. You are a human being. Vile. Only I matter. You dare speak to me? You dare look at the chicken skin that we eat? Gross. You earned it for me. Go flog yourself. You know, that kind of evil. I will take everything away from you. But in this one, the prince is also like in on it. He's like, oh no, this girl looks kinda common. Let me pretend that I'm in love with her. And then reject her on the prom so that everyone has a punching bag there. So she goes to prom in a new dress and stuff like that. And then she discovers it all a ruse, and then they strip her naked, they beat her half to death. Because that's a funny ball prom event to do in that world. And then, because she Necronomicon, time gets rewound, and she is in her dress again. And now she uses her glass slipper as a stabbing weapon to like let people squirt with and murder everyone. She also has like 2 demon dogs that are also guys, and they eat people. And she just says eat, or stab someone with her heels, or she points at someone and says burn. And even though she kills like 70 people in that movie, well, 70 is an exaggeration. She kills like a good 20 of them. But she only uses 3 kill methods. And she uses point and burn only once. So, she uses point and burn to like kill chariots and like stage coaches and stuff like that. But other than that, she just kills with her glass slipper. And she becomes like super duper evil. Murders everyone like a Carrie would. And after everyone is dead, the demon is like, now you come with me to hell because you had your last wish, you had your vengeance. She's like, nope, not gonna. And then she kills her with the slipper. And then the demon dies, and then Cinderella is now the queen of demons. And she disappears into the fog, looking for more eternal vengeance. Also, she never rescues the boy from the dungeon. He's just dead now as well. Because she's evil now. And I had a lot of fun with that one as well. Just because of how stupidly evil everyone is. Like, if you recently watched the Marvel movies, you know that it's like kind of getting old, where they have like so many redeeming qualities to a villain, where they basically all are like saints in their own way. But not this one. In this one, everyone is such an asshole. Like, nobody has even a shred of conscience. Like, they are all so incredibly terrible. Like, even like Lex Luthor and I think Frieza would look at them and they say like, no, you know, monkey, that you're Frieza exaggerating a bit. Yep, that's what would happen. Frieza would say they are a bit evil for this taste. Or, you know, Satan would probably say like, you know, you could go to hell, but you're a bit much for me. It's, it's a war and a hell out there in that distribution studio. I believe it's like IST production or something like that. That produces them all, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Mousetrap. It also did, and Cinderella as well. It also did the Bambi horror movie, which apparently also is already out. I didn't even know. There's also a Peter Pan horror movie. Probably have to watch both of those during this Halloween. But yeah, you know, all I can say about those is they are pretty inoffensively offensive. Like, they are really, really crappy, and they are just made by people that either do not understand horror or they understand horror very much, but they have some sick and twisted pleasure on destroying horror just as much as they like destroying your childhood sentiments. Both could be true. I don't know which is which, but they are terrible, terrible, terrible movies. But I'm also one of those persons that is like, but I want to say that I watched them all. I want to be able to say that I watched all of those. Every single one of them. Not because I love good horror movies, not because I love Disney or those old IPs, but because I love bad movies also. And I watch all that shit. Like how a big anime VTuber would say like, oh, I watched all the 100, top 100 worst animes on Mal. But I'm less obtuse because, you know, I just have to watch 5.5 movies. Really didn't like Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. I heard it was better than the first movie, and I thought the first movie was kind of passable. In a shitty way again. But the second movie, I really hated. Like, the charm that first movie had was like the stupidly fake masks and stuff like that, which made me like believe that it could just be maybe a guy in a mask. It was kind of like retcon here. Unfortunately, like it was literally like retconned. They basically say like that Blood and Honey 1 was a shitty movie in the world of Blood and Honey 2. And rather than potentially just being guys in a mask, which I would have found a much more interesting solution, they said like, nope, these are the products of chemical and genetic experiments. A wild scientist is trying to give people animal powers, and that transformed one in Winnie the Pooh. Okay, sure. Not buying it, but if that's the story you want to go with, go ahead. But that one was not for me. Kind of high expectations of the Peter Pan one. The Bambi one, I think will be terrible. Not because I think it's harder to write a Bambi movie than a Peter Pan movie, because I think the opposite, but I don't think they can pull off a convincing goat. But I mean, I have watched movies like Zombievers. And Zombievers was interesting. I kinda liked where they were going with Zombievers. But also, I feel like they kind of were too aware they were Zombievers. They were like, haha, who cares? We are a movie called Zombievers. And that was like, near the end, it became their answer to everything. Like, but how do we shoot that? No, who cares? We are a movie called Zombievers. And don't get me wrong, Zombievers is not just about beaver zombies. No, Zombievers are about beaver zombies that bite people and cows that also become Zombievers. Not like full transformation, like half transformation, so you would be like half zombie, half beaver, half man. And yes, I know what I said there, and that is exactly what I mean with that. They basically man-back pair you with zombie human beaver, man beaver bee. But also the cow zombie was pretty impressive. I was like, oh yeah, you actually had fun with that. I like that part. But yeah, I can't really remember the ending because I was just not invested anymore. I believe they're like, oh, there is our car. And then they're like, oh, yep, there's our car. And then there's a zombie in the back or something like that. And then it's implied he died. I don't even remember. It's like, yeah, we cannot go we cannot go across the bridge. It's pretty much the plot of one of those Evil Dead movies, where Ash got stuck like that as well in a similar situation. But yeah, Zombievers is something maybe worth watching. Maybe I should review that for this month. Like, give it a rewatchy. See if I can remember the ending. So all I can remember is one of the girls becoming a zombiever, which was pretty nice. It had a cool transformation scene. But also kind of like, now when you see like a girl and she's like transforming into a beaver, you can have like a super cool transformation scene, but the fact that she's transforming into a beaver, like, was still kinda enough to like, kinda kill the transformation scene that in its tracks. Okay. 12 more, well, 11 more minutes to catch a shiny. We are getting close to odds again. How close-ish? So that's good. We are getting these at a good rate. But we'll always do like a straggler maybe. That could be fun. Because as long as it's not Cherum, I'm pretty confident that I will find more Wurmple. If Cherum becomes a straggler though, that is a problem. Definitely have to return for Cherum. Which is an issue. But again, this might be a challenge that I'm still not big enough for. Like, it's nice to do like a yappy thing when I can't really get one chatter in chat. It might be the point where you're like, maybe I have to do more exciting things first. And then once we have established like a chat again, we're like, okay, now we can do the chatty thing with this like as a background activity. 64. Please tell me that wasn't shiny. Oh, I hope not. It might have been orange. I don't think it was. I don't think they do much subtle side shinies in this game. Gonna have to look that back, don't I? But luckily, we're just 9 minutes off from ending, so not that hard. not too bad. Yup. Well. Hey, cute cherry. I really would love to have the cherry actually. That would kind of like be nice for the first gym. It's like, electric resist. Not that I think I can make Cherim work in a gym, but would be interesting to see if we can. It would for sure be interesting to see if we can make it. See, if we get a wormhole first, then not everything is lost still. Because now we can just hunt for a second wormhole. Because we need 2 of these. If we want to get everything shiny. Will encounter 69 be it? If you do, I'll name you 69. Nope. Unfortunate. I am really happy about these ratios though. They are really good. Ba-ba-da-bum. So yeah, I feel like we probably have to run this back next week. I might see if I'm gonna replace it with something else. So I have another plan. And I might do this when I have built up some rapport. That could be good. The problem is that we need a daytime hunt for Sharon because I do get better views in the evening. Not that views matter per se, but you know, just chatting content, which pretty much this is, would be a lot better with at least one chatter. Okay, another wormhole. Can we reach? No, we probably cannot reach 100 on the counter. I really want to stop at timer 20. Because it's just so much easier for me if we continue the challenge. That would make this a lot easier. Because I can just go to 1200, 12,000 minutes. 12,000 minutes. Wait, 12,000? 1,200. 1,200. 2 hours. Hours. 100. Yep. Yep. Okay. Brain unstuck again. Another Cherim. It would be icing on the cake to get like a last minute Cherim. Like a nice solid purple-ish Cherim or something like that. Cherim these balls. Pain. My thumbnail kinda implied that we wouldn't get it though, so Could be neat to not get it. Could still be neat. I wonder how much time I will need to do this entire thing. Probably a lot. Luckily, I do have a lot of time. Luckily, I have plenty of time. Yep, I expect it. Go, 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 go. No, that's not it either. Things are not looking good for the charm catch today. But we have had last minute shinies before. I believe in stream 2 we got like a very last minute shiny. And in stream 3 as well. Oh no, wait, maybe it's stream 2 and 4. Well then technically we wouldn't get it. We would get that next time. But that would still be Gambler's Fantasy, so let's presume we can do it. 90 seconds left. $90 seconds left. And I'll even take like a fake shiny. A duplicate shiny. Bum 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 bum. I prefer not to though. Bum 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 bum. Okay, the last minute is not gonna make it easy on me, is it? The last minute is kinda being rough on me. We're not even encountering anymore. We are not even encountering anymore. Okay, at least that's a whirlpool. We have like 2 more encounters or so. At least that's another wormhole. Last encounter. That's a wormhole. Maybe I can run away fast enough? No, I can't. Yes, we can. Exactly at the minute mark. Well, that was it then. That's it. That's where that ends. Well, no shiny for us today. Well, one. Just one shiny. Not the best. I'll walk out. Well, wait in front of this building, we'll save. And that is where we will end for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you did, I saw a few people pop in and out. Really appreciate it. I will be back on Friday with a little bit more excitement in the form of the Page Lock finale. And on Sunday, we're playing a brand new Pokemon game with brand new Pokemon. That's always exciting too. Until then, if you ever need an illegal, rehacked, spliced, mutated, or morphed Pokemon, Team Neon is here to help you. Also, if you are looking for a job that's in the illegal atmosphere, join Team Neon. Have a nice night.